Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, welcome to another Mobile Weekly / Mobile Q&A. We go over all latest news that happened during the week of mobile and answer your questions live. If you have a question you want to ask, just ask it in the comments section down below and I will answer it before the end of the show. Now, we did have a whole crazy thing with leaks this week. For Samsung, they had so many leaks and so many different things that it was for sure interesting to see how it went. So let's go over it and check out all the latest images, all the final specs, and really go over these cameras because I think I'll still do another video on the 11th about the cameras, just because for me it is such a factor for me not getting the Fold this year. At least keeping it. I'll do it for the coverage, I'll do it for that kind of stuff, but I've already made up my mind that if I buy the Fold, I will return it. I have no intention of keeping it just because of what it has. So let's go into the news and let's go over the features. So we had a bunch of leaks this week when it comes to the final images. So let's go into them. Final professional, this is the end of the promo video when they announced the Z Fold 3. You see it right here and you see the impact of getting rid of that camera and how it will be full screen. You see the different colors, black, green, and pink. It really is kind of interesting, the pinkish color. It's called Phantom Silver, and maybe it is silverish and it just reflects off like a rainbow effect color, but at least in here that really makes it seem pink. But again, silver, white, but the white might be very reflective like. It will have an S Pen. Yes, the S Pen works with it. This does not make it a note. This does not make it a note. But the S Pen will work with it. For the first time, you'll be able to write inside of a bigger screen device that fits in your pocket. Because of course we've already had the big screen landscape with an S Pen with all of the Galaxy tablets. But the first time you're gonna have a Fold that does it just as easy. Water resistance. This is something that a lot of people were afraid of with the first Fold and the second Fold. Now you do not have to worry about water resistance in this device. So that is good. It wasn't my necessarily top thing, but I'm curious if it was yours. Did you really want water resistance for it? Then we have aluminum frame. So stronger frame, really meant to test that durability of this device. You have Dolby Surround Sound, great Atmos, all that kind of stuff. You have more split screen apps, which I am very keen to, and I really think that Samsung needed that. You have a bigger screen for your, of course, gaming experience. I did love gaming on this device. It really is fun on the Fold 2. I had a lot of fun with it, but yes, it was that. Then the cameras, which we'll get to in a second because we have the official specs, including of this 4 megapixel camera. And then director's view you have here, and then all of the effects that you get from Samsung smartphones for the past year. You have portrait, you have night mode, you have night, and you have, of course, the director's view that is right here. So all of that being said, then we have the official specs for it. And let's go over them. So first off, I have to go over these cameras. They are the equivalent to last year's S20 and S20 FE. So what do I mean by that? I mean, this main camera is the same one which you can find on the Galaxy S20 FE and the S20. So same exact one, 1.8 sensor size, f1.8, and that's what we have right here. Phase detection autofocus, so it's really quick at focusing. It has that old school Samsung phase detection autofocus, which is really good. It's the fastest focus there is. But same camera as a smartphone, the normal price is $500 and on sale goes for $400 and under. What about the ultra wide camera? The ultra wide, to Samsung's credit, is on this side, so the regular S20 instead of the FE, because it does have the bigger sensor, the 1.4 sensor in comparison. So it does have this, no, I'm sorry, I was wrong. It has the lower sensor. So it doesn't have the better sensor of the S20. I'm sorry, I gave them too much credit. It has the same sensor, ultra wide, as the S20 FE. Again, this is last year's mid-range device that has the same exact camera for main and ultra wide on here. Now, in terms of the telephoto, it's actually gone a bit down and up. So it's a bit higher than this model was, which is an 8 megapixel with a 1 point unimeters for it. So again, a little bit better than that. This is basically the same one that the telephoto had this year on the S21. How about that's what it took from it. The megapixel on the front screen of this one is going to be the 10 megapixel f2.2 1.22 in size, exactly the same as this one. So this is, again, the exact same front camera that we had on the S20. That's last year's model. Same camera. And what about that 4 megapixel? So 4 megapixel sensor is going to be big. So it is 4 megapixels. It's f1.8, which, to be fair, has been better than Samsung's regular front camera that they put on this phones recently, but still not as good as it used to be. We used to have an f1.5 and f1.6, as low as that on the front-facing camera, but this is f1.8 and it's a 2, so it is almost double the size of the regular 10 megapixel one, but again, not exactly the most revolutionary thing. 4,400 milliamp battery. So they did up the battery slightly. I believe the last Fold 2 was 4,300 or 4,200 or something along those lines. So slightly higher. But yeah, so this is it. This is what we're getting this year. And again, it really just, like, if we're going to spend reportedly around $2,000 for this phone, why do we have last year's mid-range camera on here? You want us to pay $2,000 for this phone, where a phone, when it goes on sale for $400, has the same kind of camera. It really is disappointing. It really is disappointing. And I just had to show that comparison because that is what the comparison is. So Molo Baby comes in, which always drops knowledge and always inside stuff. People will get confused about the megapixel versus quality. They are hard to find all the parts they could to make a full run of 500,000 phones at launch globally. I understand that, but again, I am going over the fact that it is a bigger sensor. It's a better aperture. It's f1.8, which is better than the front camera. Like, in all honesty, is this camera better, the 4 megapixel camera better than the 10 megapixel one? In some ways, yeah. It's going to be way better in low light than the outside camera will be. So it's actually better for selfie taking there. But that doesn't really matter because of the fact that you still have this camera for your selfies on the Fold 2. If you're going to do selfies, you would do that camera. But of course, the other thing is will this camera be dim? Did it need to be this big of a sensor and have that wide of an aperture in order to basically make it so that it's brighter? Because of course, the under display cameras that we've seen before this have been too dark. Every photo comes out not as vibrant, not as sharp, and it just basically looks like a dull photo. So maybe Samsung did this actually because they wanted to make it a brighter overall experience, and therefore, again, if you're letting more light in, hopefully it'll be a better quality. 4 megapixels by today's standard, though, is small if you compare it to 4K, 8K videos that we're taking now. They can take higher megapixels out of that photo. So that is, I guess, the counter argument to, do megapixels mean anything? Well, in a way they do, because if you are cropping into it, that's always the big thing. But this one is going to be something that their marketing department will not get over. It will not get over. I'm letting you know that right now. The marketing department will fail at getting this part over. Okay, so enough about the Samsung phone. We talked about everything. We wanted to make sure it was cool. Now let's talk about Samsung's processor. Well, at least the one they've made. So I've told you this for a couple weeks now, but Samsung did make the new processor that Google had announced, which now we know is Google Tensor. And in Google Tensor, we found out, that this is the chip that they are putting in their phone, the Pixel 6 Pro. And the reason why that's so important is because we can effectively see a much faster overall experience. But let's go over it. So basically what happened was we've known that it was basically this chip essentially that it was being worked on was actually the Google Tensor. So here's the thing about this chip. This chip is basically going to be on the same level of the Snapdragon 888. It is not on the same level of next year's 989, I believe it's called. 898. And it's not on the same level of Samsung's soon-to-be AMD Exynos chip that comes out next year. So it's basically on par with the best that this year has to offer, which is fine. Because again, that's not including all of Google's backing, mainly AI, all of their ability to improve hardware with their software, which, let's face it, they're the best at. So that is a really, real big thing. I'm muted? Can you guys hear me? Someone said I'm muted. Thank you for the super chat donation, but am I muted? Can you guys hear me? Hello? We wanted the same camera as the Fold as the S21 Ultra 5G, but the parts were just not there. I mean, if that's true, guys, let me know if you can hear me. He's not muted. Okay, he's not muted. Got it. All right. You just wanted to play a prank on me, possibly. Okay. We wanted to see the same camera of the S21 Ultra, but the parts were just not there. So here's my thing about that. If that is true, if that is true, right, that Samsung wanted to put the same part as the S21 Ultra in the Fold 3, I would have delayed it. I honestly would have delayed it. Or the price should be $1,600. you can't have it at that same price after all these other smartphones have done better in terms of quality, in terms of, I mean, you are literally going to have a phone that Samsung made with the Google Pixel 6 Pro. You're going to have that phone. And it really is just like, why? Why did this get so much better, but yet the Fold's cameras are a crutch? So yeah, let me know what you guys think. But for me, I would have delayed it. I would have delayed it 3 months. Okay, let Apple have it. It is what it is. It's a chip shortage. We all know this. Apple's going to have the same issues themselves in 2 months. But for me, I would have rather, yes, if the Fold 3 had the S21 Ultra cameras, I think so many people would be singing the praises on Wednesday's reviews. And again, I'm not one of the tech reviewers that got it early. I'm not one of the tech reviewers that have it on that time. But yeah, it's really going to be what we'll have to wait and see. It is priced out of the most people's price range, even with double trade-in offers. Yeah, and that's true. It's like, because don't forget, I have to have those brand of phones, right? Because as of right now, like, I have my daughter. My daughter has an LG G8. I can't trade that in. Samsung won't take LGs. To be fair, they're going out. But what about ZTE phones? What about, if it's not Samsung or Google phones, they don't even accept OnePlus phones. So there is that thing of, you can't trade in every phone. I have a OnePlus 9 I couldn't trade in as of right now. I have, an LG G8, a TCL phones, all these other phones. So maybe then open up your trade in for the different kinds of phones. I think that's going to be the main things. But unfortunately, I think that as a person that loved the Fold 2, that only issue I had with the Fold 2 wasn't that I didn't have an S Pen, wasn't that it didn't have waterproofing, wasn't that I had a, oh my God, I have, and it was more than a hole punch, right? The hole punch camera. It was that I didn't have the best cameras. And that is the one thing that does not change from the Fold 2 to the Fold 3. So yeah. And in this one, sorry to get off track, but for the Google processor, it really knocked it out of the park with this processor, because they're going to back up with software to really make it go overboard. All right. Then we have the Flip 3 specs leaking as well. So everything's leaked basically before Wednesday. So the Flip 3 will have the 120 hertz display. That was one thing we did not know. 6.7 inch 120 hertz display. So we do have that, which I'm very, very happy about. And of course, we do have the secondary display in the front. You are going to have an 8 gig of RAM model. So it's not going to be, 12 gigs RAM, but again, 8 gigs is fine. Like, I'm okay with that. 128 gigs of storage or 256 gigs of storage. So it's we don't know yet on the wattage for the charger. It might be 25 watt or it might be 15. I don't see why they would make 15 at this point. It just seems kind of going backwards, but we'll have to wait and see. And this one has the exact same cameras that we just went over. But again, if this phone is $1,000, $1,100, that is more okay than paying $2,000 for having those same cameras. So it will have the same exact cameras though. Again, the triple 12 megapixel cameras plus the 10 megapixel selfie. So it's gonna have the same exact cameras that the Fold 3 has and that last year's S20 basically had for these ones. And then finally, we have something interesting. So we have a ZTE Axon 30, which was really well. Honestly, ZTE does a really good job. They do the Red Magic phones that I review. And the thing that I will say about them is that they have a lot to offer in terms of hardware performance for price. But this Axon 30 apparently is going to be the first phone with 20 gigs of RAM, which is pretty insane. So we'll have to wait and see how it exactly goes. It's actually going to have less of a processor, but again, it's an 870. It's not going to be that much of an issue. But I'm very curious to see how the quality is on this phone. They often get a lot of their sensors from Samsung as well as Sony. But the big thing I will say about their phones is that they have a great camera quality, and so much so that if you didn't watch it last year, MKBHD on his blind camera comparison test, the finals were between this one and the Note. I think it was the Note 20 Ultra, if I'm not mistaken, or the S20 Ultra from last year. And this one actually won. So where Samsung was going to win that contest for the second year in a row, that one actually won, the Axon 21. So I'm very curious, to be quite honest, to see this phone because it's one that I hadn't checked out before that I'm very curious to check out now. Okay. Now, before we get to your questions, start asking them down below in the comments section. But before we get to that, I did want to bring up two things. One, I am sorry for not having videos out this week. You guys saw that I was very happy I got a, video done with Newegg. It does not look like I'll be doing YouTube videos for them going forward. We'll have to wait and see kind of thing how that turns out. But I might show up on, we did have some conversations about doing something on their TikTok possibly. So we'll have to wait and see. So make sure to look out for me there. I did do a follow-up video to the YouTube video I did on TikTok for them. So if you go check out Newegg on TikTok, I did a video there for them. It was pretty funny. I've talked to them about trying to put it on my YouTube shorts, but we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Honestly, it's been a great collaborating with them. It's awesome. But doing that, and then obviously my new day job just started. Spending time with the family this weekend, it has definitely taken its toll, rather say, in terms of my time. However, I did record a lot this week. It's just all in the editing now. So I have the Good Lock video recorded with sound this time. If you missed last week, I recorded 5 videos last week and none of them had sound. Very frustrating. So this time I also did the tablet, so the Android Switch device will be coming out. I have to be very careful on how I do that one because of course Nintendo might flag it. So I have to be very careful when editing that one to make sure that it goes perfect. And then we also have some more videos coming out. Obviously we are going to be doing the live stream on Wednesday morning for Samsung's Unpacked event. So make sure to tune in for that. I believe that is 7 a.m. Pacific time. And I think that's it for that. We also have a new Tech Out the House coming video I did for the Cooking Pal. That's a product that's basically a smart kitchen device that basically does everything in one. It's like a pot, a blender, a heating pot, all this kind of different stuff all in one. And it has a tablet screen coming with it. So new Tech Out the House finally. I know you guys have been wanting some more Tech Out the House stuff. So that's going to be a new addition to it as well. And yeah, I will say that after having some frustrating videos this week, I am looking to probably change out my cameras officially. I have always had Panasonics, and I'm looking more to, I think, go with Sony's for the focus, just because the focus is so much quicker, so much better on a Sony than I have had for Panasonics. And lately my Panasonics, I want to do better shots, but I can't on them. So I might be upgrading to all Sony cameras soon. So I'll have to wait and see how that goes. People are more excited about the watches than the phone. I would definitely say that's true. The watches are so exciting because they're going to have Google on it. And I think that's what's really hyping them up. So I would say I am definitely more excited for the watches than the phone. Heck, if the tablets come out, I don't know if the Tab S8 and Tab S8 Ultra is still coming out, but if those tablets come out, I'm honestly more excited for the tablets than the phones as well. All right, guys, now let's get to your questions. Remember, if you have a question you want to ask, just ask it in the comment section down below, and I will answer it before the end of the show. Watch 4, what do you think about the pricing will start? What do you think about the trade for the Watch 3 will be? Watch 4, we checked out leaked prices on the Watch 4, I want to say 3 weeks to a month ago, so it was a while back, but they did show an increase of $20 to $50 per watch compared to what the old version was. So they will increase in price, it looks like. That is probably in part to deal with Google software and not Samsung software anymore. Obviously, when it was Tizen software, Samsung didn't have to pay Google anything. Now, for every watch made, Samsung has to pay Google for their software. I'm sure it's a deal that was worked out, but that is what happens. So that was part of the price increase probably, but that might have been like 10 bucks. They're obviously increasing it by, like I said, 20 to 50. So they are increasing it just to increase it as well. For the trade-in, I would say the Galaxy Watch 3, so the last Galaxy Watch that came out, I have confidence that that will be anywhere between $150 and $200 trade-in value. And so that way, basically the watch will be half price if you get the new one, to $100 to half price, depending on how expensive the watch you're getting is. So that's what I bet. Hey Ricky, saw your Sony video. You took a beating by Sony fanboys. Oh, and I did. And again, I mean, you guys know this, but like I literally had a total of half an hour to set up and shoot the video. Like that was it. So I was on camera, do or die, 15 minutes basically. I think it was like 16 minutes total. And I had to get it done because they had other things booked and I just had to be in and out. So yes, would I have loved more time and could I have done that video way better? Absolutely. Just to give you an idea, one thing that everyone said was, oh my God, you used the rubber band ones. Oh my God, you put the hot heat sink in wrong. I fixed all that. I fixed all that hour. Within the hour, I fixed it. I didn't do the rubber bands. I used the metal grips. I also left enough space to actually screw it in because I did put it in to my actual PS5. If I had more time, I could have shown all this. Didn't. But like, I did it all. I did it all like perfectly. But yes, did I panic because I didn't have enough time and I had to open it and I couldn't take the 5 minutes to watch a YouTube video and remember how to open it? Absolutely. But it is what it is. The cool part about it is I asked Newegg, like, hey, what if we make like a little short making fun of it? Let's make fun of it. And they were cool with it. So that is on TikTok now. If you go to Newegg's TikTok, I did a video with them, with this really cool girl there. And basically we did a video and it was hilarious. I think it was, I think it was hilarious because it was making fun of the whole thing. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely check it out. It's on their Instagram too. If you go to their stories, I think it's under their highlights. So lots of fun. And again, hopefully I'll be able to do more on that side, even if I don't get to do more YouTube videos for them. I wonder what kind of case the S Pen Pro will have. We showed off the case last week. I actually am not a fan of it because it is not open on the front screen. It covers up the front screen. So I'm not a fan of the S Pen Pro case, but that is what it will have. But yeah, we did go over that last week. Foldable devices are still a novelty for a lot of people, I feel. Yeah, definitely that's true. Definitely that's true. What's up from 1,000 feet above the USA? Where are you at, Warren? Ricky, great chat this week. What is a good antivirus for the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus? Interesting. I have been an advocate literally since Android was created, I don't use antiviruses on my device. Effectively, I feel they just slow your devices down too much. But I mean, you could get any of the standard ones. Samsung has a partnership with McAfee that if you go to your device care manager, in it, you can get McAfee installed, and it works perfectly, I think would say, with it. So that is probably the best one to get because of the seamless working with it. I do believe they do charge you after a certain amount of time, so I'm not sure if you get a year free and then you get a charge, or you just have a base plan and you can upgrade to the premium plan for a price. But that is the biggest partnership they have with an antivirus company. So for Samsung, I would probably say go with that one if you do want one. I would say using a VPN is more important and better off than any antivirus for most people. Well, I know what camera I want to upgrade to. Yeah, no, if you want a camera upgrade, the Pixel 6 Pro looks like the camera this year. I'm so excited about. Your stronger screen will have me trading in the Z Fold 2. I do like the S Pen. Cameras are a big disappointment. Absolutely. Look, if you have a Fold 2, is this still worth the upgrade? I think for the S Pen, the waterproofing, the better build, I don't see a downside in upgrading to it. But how much are you willing to pay for that? Because if it is the same as last year, the Fold 2 would then be $1,000 worth trade-in. Say if you get the extra $100, maybe it's going to be worth $1,100. If it is a $2,000 phone, you're still going to be paying $900 to upgrade. Is it worth it at that price? For $900, again, you get the waterproofing, you get the S Pen, you get a slightly better battery. My guess is the software will be the biggest thing that's improved. Will that software eventually come to the Fold 2? Probably over time. But those are the things that I would say would get me to switch from the Fold 2 to the Fold 3. I no longer have the Fold 2. I did sell it when I got unemployment and all that kind of stuff. So that is why it's not a thing for me. But if I did, that's what would be my situation. Well, we'll have an hour to make a video, so Sony didn't give him too much to work with as well. Yeah. Oh, nice. So like 30 feet then. Oh, I'm on airplane home. Got it. On an airplane. Oh, wow. You can watch this. The internet's that good for to watch it on an airplane? That's kind of cool. I think the S20 FE is above mid-range. My mom has it and likes it. The S20 FE, I would say it's at the top of the mid-range or the entry-level flagship. But like at least how Samsung puts it, right? The S20 series, the entry would be the S20, and then the FE came out after. So I don't know. I would say Samsung would probably call it. And again, that's no diss as a mid-range. It was, in my opinion, the best price for phone last year, period. If anyone asked me, like, I had a friend at work ask me about a phone. She has an S7. And she asked me about phones a little bit. And I was like, honestly, I would probably say that, like, you know, I would easily recommend like an A52 would be a nice upgrade from her current phone. And then I said, like, look, even if you want the best S series, those have gone way down in price. You can get an S20 FE for about $500, and it has pretty much everything you need. So that is, again, it's not a bad thing, I would say, to call it a mid-range. It's just really basically everything you need. And again, best bang for buck price by far last year. I think it's a good phone for most people. It just needs better cameras. But for $500, the S20 FE has amazing cameras for that price point. For that price point, those cameras are better than pretty much anything in that price point, easily. So again, it's all about the price you pay. Those cameras are better than any other cameras, I would say, in the $500 price point. However, if I pay $2,000 for a phone, yes, those cameras are not good enough for a $2,000 smartphone. The difference. So it's worth getting the new flip phone. I would say yes, the new flip phone is a really cool way, especially if you still want that wow factor, right? I will say that was the biggest thing I loved about the Fold 2. Every time I opened the phone up, it was a conversation starter. Now, granted, that wasn't that much of a conversation in 2020, but it still was just a wow factor. Every time I had it, when I went back to work and when I was with it, everyone was like, whoa, that's a cool looking phone and everything like that. It was just, it's so cool. But you get that with the Flip. So if I had the Flip, it would be perfect for that, no problem. Let's see. Did you sign up for the PS5 beta, Ricky? No, I haven't yet. I have been having a lot of people say they had issues with it, so I didn't sign up. I wanted to at least see if there would be a new beta, like upgrade for it, and then I'll do it. But yeah. Still think I'm going to get the Fold 3, time to leave the Note 9 life. Hey, I mean, from the Note 9, honestly, you will slightly upgrade in terms of the cameras there, but it would just be such a wow factor difference for you that I think you'll enjoy it for sure. I'm very curious to see how much trading you'll get for that Note 9. Battery on my Fold 2 is 4,500. We're losing there, but software management's supposed to be better, and of course you have a newer processor. The A88 should be better at battery life than the last year's model. True, they didn't say how high we were. All I know is that we should be above home 4 hours ago and 5-hour delay. Oof, JFK. Sorry, man. Hope you make it home safe. And thank you for watching me while on a plane. So yeah. Because megapixels used to be what was always advertised on a camera and then phone camera. And that's true. Like, it really is. Like, I'm sorry, you're not going to get people to get hyped about a 4 megapixel camera. You want to know why? HTC tried it like 5 years ago with the M8, if I'm not mistaken. They had the ultra pixel camera and the sensor was bigger. Same thing that's happening here. It's a 4 megapixel bigger sensor. And you know what? Samsung destroyed it, right? They were like, 4 megapixel. Their advertising was designed and their field team was designed to make fun of it. What are they going to do now? Like, what are they going to do now? It's just, they won't get over that. They won't. And people won't get over it because they've been programmed to think higher megapixels mean higher quality, which isn't true. But it is effectively when we're cropping into things and when we're making it bigger. We have bigger screens now. We have bigger TVs. We have bigger monitors. We have bigger laptops. We have bigger tablets. We have bigger smartphone screens. So the megapixels not meaning anything isn't true anymore because we do have bigger images to put them on. And especially the more we're cropping in. If you wanted to take a photo of a 16:9 photo like this screen is right now that I'm on, and you wanted to make a 1:1, you are cropping in. And that is when it makes a difference. So there are certain scenarios where megapixels are going to mean more than nothing, which is what used to be true. But it's just, yeah, it's a different time for sure when megapixels are completely blown out and overhyped, but bigger sensors mean more now, and an f-stop means more than anything else. And I think people are starting to learn a little bit about that, but the general public is still going to go by megapixels. Folding phones are niche phones. They look nice, but spec-wise are downgrading. I'll wait for the S22. Yes, the S22 will be, I think, an upgrade that we will see in February or January, depending on how it goes in 2022. Okay. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions floated. Everybody drink. Let's see. The Galaxy Fold 3 is basically a mini Tab S7 Plus tablet, but foldable. That is actually not too far off, to be quite honest. It is not too far off, especially when it comes to the cameras. I think even that one has a better camera, though. I think the Tab S3 the Tab S7 Plus has a 8 megapixel camera for the selfie, so I think it's a little bit different. But yes, it's just not, I would say, where a $2,000 phone should be. Google wants to have a high-end phone. Google will have a high-end phone this year. The question is really, which all they said was that it would be competitively priced. What does that mean? But Google will, the only issue that will be with Google's phones is how high they price it. Because if they do price it, you know, $1,100, $1,200 again for a Pro, they're going to have issues. People are not going to buy it at that price point. The highest price that Google should go for, if they want to sell millions of plus phones, is $900 for the Pro. And put the regular Pixel 6 at $700, and I think it'll sell. If you can drop each of those down $100 and make it $600 and $800, it will do well. But all of that, you know, I understand is a business thing. You're going to have to figure out all your pricing, your break-even point, all that kind of stuff. But if Google wants it to sell, $600 and $900, I think, is a really good point to stay at. $700, $900, $600, $800, whatever they can work out. But those are the price ranges that I think the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro should stay at. I do not think they should go into the $1,000 and up price point, or they will not succeed, because people will buy Samsung instead or Apple instead. It's time to go all out for Samsung. Time to bring back the Mega Note. The Mega Note. I think the Mega Note would be a very interesting thing. Mega, I mean, they only made 2 megas. It wasn't a bad idea. Big screen phone that, you know, is ridiculously big. And yeah, it wasn't a bad idea. For those of you who don't remember, by the way, the big sizes of the Mega was 6.3 and 6.8, if I'm not mistaken. So those were the big screen sizes the Mega had, the 1 and 2. So yeah, not as big anymore. It's like the big screen size that the Note originally had, the biggest phone that was too big, and no one's ever going to use a phone like that for the Note 1, was 5.3 inch display, which is like such a tiny phone now. It's a ridiculous. So yeah. And of course, that came with bezel shrinking down and everything. But yeah, I totally agree with you that I do think that the Note needs to come out next year, and it needs to knock it out of the park. They could have scrapped the Fold and made a Note. I think they were probably too committed to make a Fold. I don't think they could have completely scrapped it, but I maybe hold it back a year and get those good cameras on it. Maybe bring it out with the S22. Definitely a possibility they could have done. Do you think the Samsung Z Fold will have Android 12? If no, why do you think they didn't? So no, they won't have Android 12. The reason is because Android 12 isn't out yet. So it will have the current version of Android, which is Android 11. So that's the version it will have. Android 12 will come out for Pixel phones probably by the end of this month to beginning of next month. But that's not the same as a Samsung phone. A Samsung phone would not be the first phone to have Android 12. That's basically it. So yeah, I think it'll get Android 12 by December, and that is probably when it would get it. The current Flip 5G is crappy main camera. I'm disappointed with it, but love it conventional on the go. Crappy since speaker too, but the rest of the phone is pretty sleek. The camera will be the same on the new one. So if you don't like that camera, that is the same camera that is on the new one. Again, I think it's an okay camera. And again, at $500, better than any camera there. But yeah, I mean, find a Gcam for it and it'll be better. 20 gigs of RAM aren't even needed on computers. I mean, I need a 32 gig of RAM computer, to be quite honest, but that's me and probably almost no one else. What do you think about the Pixel 5a coming out? Apparently it will be coming out at the end of this month, from what the rumor mill tells us. Sorry I didn't mention that. But yeah, I'm very interested in that. I think, you know, for the last 2 years, that's actually been the go-to phone that I have purchased for my mother-in-law. The 3A and 4A have been her last two phones, and she's been very happy with it. The quality of the camera is great. It moves fast. She never has any issues with it or anything like that. So yeah, I absolutely think the Pixel A series is always great phones. And quality is just really good. And again, the camera quality is unparalleled at that price. How could you be happy with paying over $1,500 for a phone? A phone. Well, so again, it's to each their own, right? Someone will spend $30,000 on a car. For me, that's way too much to spend on a car. That's just me. Like I just couldn't see myself spending that much on a car. But some people, yeah, of course. I'm going to get the best car. I'm out there. I'm going to do that kind of stuff. Great. That's what you spend your money on. Some people will spend their money on collectibles. Some people, you know, will spend $500 on a collector's item. For me, that seems crazy. Like, I couldn't do that. Some people will spend, you know, $1,000 on a gaming monitor for a 27-inch screen. Why? Just because it, you know. So everyone has their own things that they would spend money on that maybe not everyone else would. For me, I don't mind spending that much on a phone if it gives me everything that I need. There is no piece of electronics that I use more than my phone. Nothing. Like, not even close. So I use my laptop all the time. I use another laptop for work. I use lights. I use smart lights. I use a lot of electronics, but nothing compared to a smartphone. And here's the thing. I will spend $1,500 on a smartphone if it's the best phone out there. But I don't want to spend that much on a TV. Like, this is how my mentality is. So it depends on what's the most important thing to you. Today I compared the S21 Ultra to the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Samsung take better pictures to me, but the iPhone wins in video, ? So here's the thing that I will say that most YouTubers never tell you. The iPhone takes great video during the day. And during the day, yes, you could argue that it's better than Samsung. But during the night, I'm sorry, it's just Samsung does better in low light than the iPhone does. Now, that could be changed this year with the iPhone 13. It's going to have bigger sensors, so it will better compete with the Ultra that has a way bigger sensor than it. And then we'll see. But at low light, I'm sorry, everyone always says the iPhone does great in video. I always say do a video at night and see the two together then, and I think you would have a difference. What do you think about the Pixel? Oh yeah, I already answered that one. That phone better run Rigsby for 2000. Nope, still not even running Rigsby. I I feel like Rigsby is an official flop. Ricky, Homecoming in 2020. Rigsby is not an official flop. It's just, again, the hardware needs to be there to match. Hey, link to Ricky's new video. Thank you very much, guys, for that. According to Rigsby, the new Flip and Folds will come out with 50 first date questions already pre-installed. If only. I could definitely use that revenue. No, but of course, we will always do our shameless plug for every week, and that is the 50 First Date Questions app. This is an app that I created. If you could download it, it is really great, and it would help me out. Basically, it's a dating game where you basically ask someone questions, they ask you questions, and you guys find out more about each other. Whether it be a first date or whether it be the hunter's date, is a really good way to spend time with a significant other or a possible significant other and see if you guys are compatible or what the other is thinking right now and what the other wants to do in their life. So download it, links in the description, 50 First Date Questions for Android and iOS. All right, gotta do the shameless plug once a week. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions loaded. Everybody drink. All right. The watches will be the true stars of Wednesday. I cannot wait for the watch. Like, I'm so hyped for the watch. I will do probably more videos on the watch than I will for the phones. And that's just me being honest. Rigsby is not bloatware. It makes the phones better. Xiaomi passes Samsung as the world's largest smartphone brand. Do you think the US will ban them? I'm very curious on that, right? There's been no bad things, apparently, that Xiaomi's been caught, like Huawei was caught. But I did mean to ask you about that, guys. And because I know some of you asked about the Xiaomi phones at times. Let me know in the comment section. If I buy one Xiaomi phone before the end of the year and do videos on it, what Xiaomi phone should I buy? One Xiaomi phone. I'm going to try it out, test it out, see how the views are. So if I buy one, which one should I buy? Let me know in the comment section right now if you are watching. That is one thing that I'm very curious about. Nah, Fold couldn't handle 225 connections available to the advanced version of Stitcher Switch. There you go. Ricky, how many subscribers do you need to do YouTube full time? Is this a goal of yours? I mean, I was doing YouTube full time when I got let go of my last job in February till last month. So I was doing YouTube full time. For me, even with the subscribers that I have, it wasn't enough. It wouldn't have been enough to sustain for me and my family. And I want to point that out because people have always asked me that. How much does it take to really do it? Subscribers don't necessarily matter. Subscribers only allow you to get better deals. So all that matters is views, watch time. That's what makes your money. So when it comes to YouTube, what makes your money is views, watch time. What helps your views and watch time is how many people discover your video. What helps people discover your video is likes and watch time. So everything plays into the algorithm. Also tags and all that kind of stuff all helps. What's hot, obviously, everything like that. But here's the thing. When it comes to subscribers, what it can allow for is if I'm talking to a company and I'm like, I want to review your product. They will ask me, how many subscribers do you have? I will tell them I have 350,000 subscribers. That gets me leverage with companies to a certain degree. When that would be much of a higher quality when I reach 500,000. 500,000 is the part where basically you can ask almost any company and they will take you seriously enough to at least give you a loaner product, which means they expect it back in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month time. But they most likely will send that to you because you have that many subscribers. If you have 1 million subscribers, that is when you get a lot more better off treatment. 700 700 to 1 million subscribers, you get flown to places. Not you have to pay to go there. They fly you and pay for you. They also give you things ahead of time. They also give you all that kind of stuff. So it's all depending on the person and everything in terms of that. So yeah. So to full time, I at 350,000 subscribers, if I was doing this full time like I was, with the money I was making, I would say I could have been fine living on my own. So if I was, 10 years younger, didn't have kids, didn't have a wife, was living on my own, even in Los Angeles, which is pretty expensive monthly, and I was living in a 1-bedroom to maybe 2-bedroom apartment. Rent prices have gone up, but if I was living like that, I could make it right now as just a YouTuber, definitely. Being a father, husband, provider, mortgage, not just renting, but mortgage, doing all that kind of stuff, and, doing vacations, things that I want to do and all that kind of stuff, it's not enough. So hopefully that gives you somewhat of an idea, but it depends on that. It depends on views, it depends on watch time, it depends on likes, it depends on subscribers. All that goes into the algorithm to give you what amount of money you make per month. There are people with less subscribers than me that make more than me a month. There are people with more subscribers than me that make less money a month. It all depends on that. The biggest thing is when you do get the sponsorships. If you see those channels when they have a sponsor, if it is a paid for sponsor video, that might be double their entire month of revenue. So it really just depends on everything. It depends on so much. But yes, like if you're wondering, like people like MKBHD, Linus, Unbox Therapy, all of these people with more than 5 million subscribers, they are millionaires. Legit, they are millionaires. So it just depends on everything that comes out of that. What do you think about the price will be on the 6 and 6 Pro? I just kind of went over that. So I think the Smart Play would be $700 and $900 if they need to up the pricing because Samsung made everything. I think that should be the goal. If they can lower it to $600 and $800, it will sell out and it will dominate the smartphone market during the holidays, I believe. Quite honestly, it would sell better than any Pixel phone ever has sold. Will Samsung come out with another earbuds this month? Yeah, the Pixel Buds. The Galaxy Buds 2 are coming out. So they will be an upgrade of the regular Pixel Buds Live and Pixel Buds. They will not be an upgrade of the the Galaxy Buds Pro. So that it basically is going to be a more affordable one that gives you some of the Pro features, but it will not be better than the current Pro generation, which I think I have in my backpack. Hey Ricky, is there a way I can watch YouTube from my TV, find comments about the video? I don't see an option for that. Thanks. I don't think you can. I'm trying to think back when I watched it on a TV. Like, you can bring up the screen, right, and then hit the 3 dots for more stuff, but I don't know if you can bring up comments on that section. I think comments really is something that you can do more on a tablet or a phone. What some people do, and I know some people watching have done this, is that they'll literally, watch it on the TV and then comment on their phone. So I have seen people do that. Ricky, will Google Play services run on Windows 11? Can Google stop Microsoft from running Android apps on Windows 11 as they own Android file format? Ooh. So let's go over some stuff. One, Android is an open source platform, so can they stop them from running Android? No. That's not how that works. It's an open source platform. If they want Google services, Microsoft doesn't need to pay for that. which they're not really doing that. That's why they're going with Amazon services. They probably didn't want to pay Google what they would have for that scenario. So they probably did. Sorry, Google thought I was talking to it. They probably didn't want to pay Google for that, which is why they chose Amazon Store instead of the Google Play Store on Windows. So they probably didn't want to pay Google what they would have if they wanted to do that. So yeah. I'm excited for the new Google Watches, especially having Google services, but I'm concerned that Samsung is leaning too heavily on Google. I hope it will be a balance. I mean, that's what we were told that this new watches are, that these new watches are a balance of Tizen and Google best features. So I will say that, again, the navigation, Tizen was way better at navigating than Google was, but again, we'll have to wait and see. We definitely will have to wait and see. Hey Ricky, I plan on getting the new watch, and my only issue is pre-order. I pre-ordered the Watch Active 2 for $300. The trade-in value is only $60, but for the Gear S3, there is older gets $160, which kind of sucks. Yeah, I will say that I don't know if it's the resale value, but the Gear S3 had the bigger battery compared to the Watch Active 2, and the Watch Active 2 did not sell well. So I don't know what happened there. I don't know if it just was an issue of that, but yeah, that's going to be the biggest thing that I do think that unfortunately Watch Active 2 owners are going to be upset. I think the trade-in will be past $60 for the new watches because they always up it the first week. Again, that's why you want to pre-order that one. But yeah, so that's why it happened. I just bought a PS5. Do you have any good accessories for a PS5? I mean, again, if you did check out the Newegg video, if you plan on expanding your storage, buy those SSDs now. Because they will go up in price. Heck, I even got a 500 gig with a heatsink built into it, just as a backup, just in case it was needed basically for later. So definitely something that I would recommend. One of the biggest things I will say is that I really love the Sony headphones for it. The Sony headphones are really good, like really good. If you do get a second controller, I would get one of either the black on black or the red on black controllers because those are so nice. I love the all black controller. I love it. But yeah, those are the two things or three things probably. If you want to get an internal SSD, get it now because it will be sold out by the time that it is compatible. And check out that Newegg video where they put the exact links on which ones will work. The black controller or the red and black controller are really good for a second controller, and it could be your primary one after. And then the Sony headphones I really love. So those are the accessories that I would recommend personally. Get the controllers. Yeah, the controllers are really good. I'm protesting Android on Samsung until the Note comes back, so Apple for now. Hey, I understand. How is the battery on the Fold 3 slightly better, Ricky? For a metal full-time user of the Fold 2 or the Fold 3? So actually, someone corrected me, Luca. It actually, the Fold 3 has 100 milliamp less battery. 4400 versus 45. Now, software is better, hardware is better in terms of optimization. So it should have probably more comparable battery life than actually better battery life. I don't care about the camera or the pen, but I do care about 80% more durability. It has an aluminum frame for the center frame, so it should be better, and it's waterproof. So those are going to be two things that will help out more with durability. Do you think Samsung will have an issue delivering the Fold and Flips due to the big COVID issue in Vietnam? No, the Vietnam is the A series factory. So the A series smartphones come from Vietnam. Typically, the Fold series as well as the S series comes from Korea. The A series comes from Vietnam typically, and sometimes I think the SFE series, some of them came from Vietnam as well. But so no, there won't be an issue with that. The A series has had an issue though in the U.S. It is more scarce than it was 2 months ago. So there has been an issue with the A series at T-Mobile, Metro, Sprint, AT&T and Verizon have all had a shortage of the A series smartphones compared to what they would typically have. So the chip shortage does affect a lot as is, and then it even affects more because of this version. Hello, Ricky. Great tech show no, on YouTube, bar none. Thank you for all your wise tech knowledge. Glad I could talk to you guys. Great points on spending money, Ricky. Thank you. I appreciate that. Again, everyone just has what they would value spending money on. Yo, what's good, Ricky? Always doing some good stuff, man. Do you think they'll offer LTE version of the Watch 4s on Wednesday? That's what I really want. I do see them being available for pre-order. I think they will, but we'll have to wait and see. I think it could be something that's delayed, possibly. It has happened in the past. So I'm very curious to see. Hey, Rick, do you plan on doing any more weekly deals? Not for the time being. I'll have to see. Once I get ahead of videos, I'm behind on videos right now. Once I get ahead on videos, I have thought about bringing that to Saturdays or Sunday mornings. As of right now, I am taking a hiatus from the weekly deals, but I will see if I can bring them back with more time. LOL, if Ricky can get a buck from passing Apple fan, they don't, then I don't mind. There you go. I'm sure if you could get into more collabs or something, it would help out a lot. Yeah, I mean, I would love to have more collabs. I mean, Newegg was huge for me, guys. I mean, that was like wow for me. So I don't know if anything big will happen like that, but yeah, collabs with bigger influencers or bigger companies is huge. I mean, you take a person like your average consumer. I remember how hyped he was in his videos when he started collaborating with Best Buy and companies like that. So I mean, it's huge. It's huge when you collaborate with bigger companies. Raid Shadow Legends and Manscaped. Yeah, I heard Ritual is pretty good. Yeah, right. The big three for all guy-dominated YouTube videos. Yeah, I was approached by Ridge before. I don't like their wallets. Like, I'm not going to sell a product that I personally wouldn't use. You know, when I talked to you guys about the Nomad wallet, that's exactly what I have right now. I have the Nomad wallet that I'm using now. So if I talk about something, I'm going to use it myself. I'm not going to talk about it, get paid, never be seen with that wallet. Do you think that Samsung is buying up or trading old phones so they can use chips because of the chip shortage? That is an interesting prospect, but no. Those chips are too old, so I don't think so, no. What's a good wireless headphones that you don't pick up background noise so a person on the other end of the phone doesn't hear the call? Depends on what kind of headphones you're talking about. If you want in-ear headphones, one really good pair that really surprised me, and I know I haven't done this video yet, is the Pixel A's. These cancel out a lot of background noise for $100. Like the best phone call quality for $100. I would say Pixel A's. Just really great at canceling out noise. Now, best of the best, I do like a couple of different ones. Jabra is definitely at one of the top. So yeah, there's a lot of good ones. The AirPod Pros are really good at canceling out noise for higher end headphones too. For over-ear headphones, I haven't really seen that good of a quality. Like, I have the Sony M4s, pretty much the best over-ear headphones you can get. Not the best at canceling out calls. Okay, but not the best. The best ones ever have been the Jabra Evolve 2. They have a little boom mic that comes down. They're the only headphones to ever pass a Starbucks test. What that means is I could take a conference call in a Starbucks and no one would know because the background noise is out, canceled. You can't hear it. So that is next level. Those are the best of the best. The price is for it too. It's like $160 for some on-ear headphones, but you can't match it. You can't. Really great show tonight. Thanks for the info and insight. Absolutely, man. Yeah, my iPod Pros. I'm pretty sure you mean the AirPod Pros, but yeah, those ones are really good for sure. All right, guys, I think we will call that a show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really always appreciate you guys tuning in. I want you to know that. I will try to get some of these videos out. I'm going to try to work on editing right now as I speak to get some stuff down and out for the next 2 days. And then Wednesday morning, I will see you guys if you're up bright and early at 7 a.m. for me. All right, guys, thank you as always so much for watching. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy.